enough. Sean, you have a question?
Not really a question, but I was very excited today. I got all the packaging stuff that we get from Escoffier. I got all the supplies like the flour and all that, and I got my chef's kit. I was very excited today. That was one heck of a good morning to me today.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is always a good day. I see some of you wearing your chef coats. I'm sure some of you are still waiting on them. They're coming. Hopefully you ordered them. I guess if you haven't ordered it, it's not coming. So make sure you do that. But that is always so exciting. So we're going to get kind of started here. It's 8:03. I will definitely stop it at some point though and take some questions here and there. But for the bulk of today, I'm going to kind of just be walking you through that Escoffier dashboard, showing you different areas, different things to click, and kind of learning as this workshop develops a little bit in the coming weeks. We will kind of learn some just student success things to be a successful student here at Escoffier and get you focused in the classroom, which is also your home, which is a whole different take to learning. So we will get you there. But welcome, I'm Chef Jessica if you were just joining us. So just wanted to say hello, and I'm one of the tutors here. Let me do this real quick. And I think Chef Stephanie is here as well, somewhere, I'm sure.
I'm here.
There she is. Okay, I knew you were in here. So she will be kind of manning that chat a little bit too. If you have questions, if you need me to repeat anything, feel free to throw it in the chat. Chef Stephanie will be looking through that as well. But anyway, we're gonna get going and diving in. I hope you guys have all had a fantastic first week here in the program. So yeah, just kind of walking you through this Escoffier dashboard. I have just a generic class page pulled up. I will definitely show you a little bit of a difference. This is our demo page, if you will. Some of you are in the pastry side. Some of you are in the culinary side. It's not the same thing, but classroom dashboard wise, it's essentially the same thing. So if you're in one or the other, just kind of know we're talking about the same type of stuff. So this is your page. This is your dashboard. This is where the bread and the butter, this is where everything is that you will be learning. All of your material, your Zoom calls, your textbook, your knowledge checks, your conversion checks, how you submit your assignment, which I'm hoping some of you are here because of that alone and need to learn how to submit that week 1 assignment. So I'm going to just kind of walk you through all of that. I do want to mention a lot of your assignments in this class and a lot of classes going forward are through Google Drive, through, organizing your Google Drive. That workshop Chef Andy does. And if you, let me do this real quick. I was going to say, if you are not muted, please mute yourself. Makes it easier for all of us here. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. Chef Andy, another tutor here. She's great, actually. She is sick right now, so I believe she was doing it today. I'm not sure. But essentially there is a Google Drive workshop. I don't think we're allowed to call it Google Drive anymore. It's called assignment submission. That's really showing you how to set up that Google Drive. So I will definitely walk you through where to go to find that information. But anyway, let's dive into this class page and click some buttons. So just kind of starting out, this is the main page. And I guess to really start out, click everything. I mean, I know that sounds really silly, but like your chef wouldn't put up these links. There wouldn't be this, there wouldn't be that if Escoffier or your chef didn't want you to click on it. So there would not be a link for something for you to view and look at if they didn't want you to check it out. So I honestly encourage you to click everywhere, click into everything as much as you can. It's really a good way to learn and get familiar with it yourself. And worst case scenario, you can just hit the back button. No harm in that, at least dashboard wise. So going forward, if you see this little guy, that's the first one. I always like him out. So I pin it. You see how that little pin marks down? You can make it go away. You can make it come out, but it doesn't stay out unless you pin it. Took me forever to learn that. I don't know why. It does make it bigger. So some people just prefer it different ways. This is the way I prefer it. And actually, just for sake of ease, I am going to jump over here. So this is same exact page. This is an actual chef, though. Some of you probably in this class have Chef Scott. He's one of the instructors here. So when you're in your class page, you will see your instructor's info on this little sidebar. So if you scroll down, and I have to tell you, these little tiny bars on the side are terrible. I have no idea why they're so small. But yeah, you basically have to grab this teeny tiny bar. This will show you their hours. They'll show you if they prefer calling, emailing, texting, their phone number, their email, how you contact them. If you click the send message button, that is what we call a Moodle message. Again, I'm not quite sure why, but you can message people on here, all your chef instructors. You can even message people in your class. So if you see somebody in your class on the Zoom call and you want to I don't know, be friendly, message them, have a question, you can do that. You can click send message, or you can click this button up here where you see my mouse in the top right. That is the messages. So to click on it, you can search for somebody, you can click there. But yeah, those are your messages. And this little guy, that's your notifications, your alert, alarm bell. Anytime you submit something like Chef Andy did in the workshop earlier today, it'll show up on here. Anytime your chef has graded something will show up there. Super important. If you click your name, it just takes you back to that dashboard, your main page, your profile, how you edit your profile. This is one way to find your grades, another message. If you click edit profile, this brings you to this place, lets you edit, well, kind of who you are, where you're at, where you're from, different things like that. Your profile itself, this is again, how you can change and update your settings really. So this little gear guy, anytime you see this gear guy in a computer, that really means settings, really anytime. So you can do this, you can kind of update, edit things in here. That just got me off on a whole tangent and now I'm off your class page. Let me jump in there again. So sorry, you don't have all of the courses like I'm about to show you, but here we are. Okay, back to his homepage, Chef Scott here. So kind of just starting out, no, actually, I'm going to pause. I'm going to show you the rest of the around area before we really get into the bulk. Campus store, resources. This is how you find a lot of different things. So if you click on this, it'll take you over to the actual Escoffier website. And this is where you can find just a lot of good information that you might want to know, might not need to know. Financial aid. If you hit this help center button or this help button in the far right corner, they take you to the same place. Again, just the Escoffier website, but it brings you to this section, which is a lot of frequently asked questions, whether it be online learning, assignment submissions, toolkits, required technology. All these are just questions students are asking all the time, like sharing links, discussion forums, submitting your assignment. All these are just resources here for you to use. Tutoring team, workshops, your chef, all again are resources to use. You have your success coach. All these things are just at your disposal. So I really encourage you to get familiar with them. They are all here for you guys. And everyone here at Escoffier, we want you to be successful. We really do. We want to work with you. Kind of brings me to my next point, your success coach. On your main dashboard will show right here. It might actually tell you a person. I'm not quite sure. But each of you has a success coach assigned to you. That's someone to go to if you're having anything from maybe health problems, maybe some family problems. COVID is real if you guys haven't heard about it yet. Kind of a big deal. And so essentially that is definitely who you want to contact if you're having issues with that. If you need a Chromebook, if you, let's say your internet went out for a week and you don't have access, success coach. Just kind of going through. Again, on this top button, this recents one, you guys will probably end up using a lot. I use it here and there, but this will bring up the classes you clicked on recently. So for the majority of you, that's only 1 or 2 at a time. So you can click this and get to your class page really easily. And this button I just hit, this makes the screen bigger, makes the screen back to, you know, being able to click other stuff. But if you want full screen, maybe you have distractions or things that do distract you going forward. Those are all good things to do. Work with yourself. If you know you're going to click on Facebook, maybe expand your screen. Anyway, kind of going forward, this little sidebar over here where you see the 3 lines, we're going to click on that. That shows you what class you're in, grades, home dashboard, site home. This calendar view is pretty cool too. If you haven't clicked over there, I'll try it out.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
I haven't received my Chromebook yet, so I'm using my cell phone. So what I'm seeing is a lot of the Chromebook or laptop information. How do I do everything on my cell phone? Because I'm doing everything right now on my cell phone.
Definitely. So actually, that's a great question and great point. And to answer you quickly or briefly, we will be doing this exact same class workshop next Monday, actually for the next few Mondays. And next week's will all be from your mobile device or all from your cell phone and how to do that from a mobile. If you need that information sooner, I definitely encourage you to book an appointment with a tutor here, which I will definitely show you how to do. But yeah, that's a great question. And it's essentially the same. It's the exact same process, exact same information, exact same buttons to click. It's just going to look different because you're on an app. So you can still find the same resources, the same links, the same class page. Everything is the same. It just looks a little bit different because it's an app.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Great question. But yeah, so I mean, I just like to mention this calendar because not a lot of people know it's here. Mine is blank. Doesn't mean I don't have anything to do. But your classes will be up here. If you click on your calendar in your class page, you will see when your live Zoom sessions are. You'll see on Tuesday, 11:59, when your assignments are due. Different things will be up here, and you can create events and create them yourself too. So I definitely encourage you, if you're not using this calendar, use a calendar. It doesn't matter which one. It can be the Google one. It can be this one. It can be on your phone. I personally like a written planner. I'm very old school in writing things down. But definitely with online learning, I encourage you, get a planner, use a calendar, schedule your events. I guess they're not events, but schedule your school like they are events, like they're a doctor's appointment, you know? You're going to do your assignment from this time to this time on Tuesday, or you're going to do this to this on Friday. And just making a plan, whether you stick to that plan or not, you know, life gets in the way, but at least you know what you want to be doing and when, and it really helps with that procrastination factor, which tends to be a huge, not that anyone wants to procrastinate, but things sneak up on you and you're sitting there on your laptop at 10 p.m. on Tuesday, like, crap, I haven't submitted my assignment yet. So again, this is just ways to avoid it, or at least try to avoid it. Some things are not avoidable. But anyway, kind of diving back over to the class page, I'm going to walk you through it, but I do see some hands raised. So I'm going to stop real quick. And Christina, I think we answered your question. Mekyel, I'm so bad at names. Please forgive me.
Yeah, okay, it's Mekyel, but I got a question.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the flavor wheel yesterday when I was doing the fill out for the
Narrative.
Exactly.
I'll show you.
How do you pull up the flavor wheel?
Definitely. I will definitely show you that. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget, because I tend to forget things as I talk. Definitely. I will show you that as we kind of go through the class page more. I've only shown you the outside of it, not really the class.
Okay, that's a rush.
Yeah. And actually, let's hold off on questions because I know a lot of your questions I'm probably going to answer as we start showing you some of this stuff. But yeah, let's do that and then we'll open it up in a little bit for more.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of jumping into your class page again, if you're in the pastry side, very similar looking thing. Just you have pastry stuff to do versus culinary has culinary stuff. Big difference, the pastry people who are here, you guys work on production notes or production sheets. That is essentially the same thing as the culinary side's narrative. The forms look different. Their goal is the exact same thing. Their objective, pretty much the same thing. Pastry just has more math involved really on it, and those bakers percents. But kind of jumping in here. Oh, something also to note, which is cool. All these links you see, CU 101, Culinary Foundations, all of these are links. These take you back to where you were. So back to your dashboard, back to your main page, your chef's page. So I use those all the time to get back to where I was at. But all of you have the start here section. And I do want to point out, depending on your chef, depending on your class, some of your chefs have different images, different pictures, different documents. They all look a little different. So don't worry if I'm showing you something in Chef Scott's class that you don't see in your class. Your chef has something similar that just looks different. That's their own. So something to point out. Anyway, going forward, start here section, go figure, is where you should start. Your syllabus is huge. I have to tell you a mini side tangent story. I went to college way too many times, way too many years, for way too many things. But my first 3 months as a freshman in college, I had no idea this syllabus existed. This tells you everything. Your discussion forums, your labs, your knowledge checks, your final. It literally breaks down how your grade is determined and what they're looking for in it. So, and how you get your grade. Yeah, again, you live and you learn. Syllabus is huge, always tells you a lot. Always look at it, always reference it. Those are very helpful. Academic integrity, quick guide. That's just kind of like don't cheat, don't plagiarize type stuff, but good to read. Professional cooking. This is your textbook. If you click on this, this is your entire textbook, all 1,000 pages or whatever it ends up being. This is the whole thing. Do you have to read the whole thing? No, I'm pretty sure you don't. Do you read a lot of it? Definitely. Your chef will tell you which areas to read. I'm sure some of you have this question as well. You can buy it yourself. You can also print this off. Something to note, and I get this question a lot, so I do want to just address it. This is the 9th edition. So if you are buying a textbook for Escoffier through a different site like Amazon or whatever, Google, however you're looking it up, either make sure you're buying the same edition, or because you don't always have to, and to be honest, the lower editions, the couple first ones, they're always cheaper because improvement. Essentially the material is the same. There's not a lot that's that different. How you fillet a steak is how you fillet a steak. So a lot of it's the same, but some of the chapters are not the same. So some of the sections, some of the pages, which is a lot of how Escoffier sets it up, like read chapter 2, this page to this page, mise en place. Those things are going to only be consistent with this edition. So if you do have a different edition, it's like I said, it's definitely going to be very similar, same info, but your pages and your chapters are not going to line up accordingly. So just make sure that you're reading exactly what you're supposed to be reading. That's just a huge thing to point out. Kind of brings me, oh, there I am, online tutoring. That's how you find us, myself, Chef Stephanie, all the other tutors here. If you click on this brings you to our tutor dashboard, our homepage here. If you see this blue link is how you book a session with us. If you need extra help, whether it be math, rounding, fractions, kitchen conversions, baker's math, costing, writing, grammar, paragraphs, essays, tech, Google Drive, submitting your assignment, all these things you can book appointments for. And so something to note when you do go in here, if you are booking an appointment, is that it is always in your time zone. You never, I don't know why that's loading so long. You never have to do time zone math. So anytime you're doing this, like technology, assignment submission. This is literally how you would book something with one of us. So going to it, you can click, you can book, it'll show it always in your time zone. Jumping back over to the tutor page, because I don't want to spend forever over there. Going down, this is all of the tutors here that we have. And you can basically, let's see, you can see all of us here, all of our emails, calls. This calendar is not complete. I do want to point that out. We do have more workshops. They are not listed on here quite yet. I think we are still waiting on some stuff to get that together. We do know when they are. So yeah, anytime you have any of these workshops, anytime you're looking for them, assignment submission, this is the one I was talking about at the very beginning with Google Drive. We can't call it Google Drive anymore because apparently, I don't know, we're advertising for Google, even though that's exactly what we're using. That's a different story. But this is how you set up your Google Drive. This is the one you're in, your student success. These are all the Zoom links to join all these calls. So anytime you want to join these, they are right here for you. They're always listed in central time zone, like Escoffier's classes are. So you do have to do time zone math there. They will always be recorded. That's in the archives, workshop archives. That is where you find all these recordings. We upload them in here, and they're basically just a YouTube video. So like this session right now is being recorded. So if you can't ever attend, but you want the material, or if let's say 4 weeks from now, you're like, crap, I really wish I attended some of those math foundation classes because I need help with rounding and kitchen conversions, and now I don't know what I'm doing. This you can go to, you can watch them. They will be uploaded there. Granted, you can always book a session with us. We are here for you guys, but I know these are really nice because you can watch them at 2 a.m. while you're working third shift or something like that. Quizlets. These flashcards are fantastic options when it comes to some of that math, writing, costing principles. So these are all, again, just flashcards here at your disposal to use and practice with. Jumping back over, this says dyslexic, it's not just dyslexic, it's really reading comprehension, or if you are better with hearing things and you like somebody reading to you or saying something to you, like that's how you learn better. It's just auditory. I really encourage you to download this. This is the Natural Reader. It's an extension to your Google Chrome, and it basically reads your textbook to you, which is super cool. But anyway, jumping back over to your class page, Writing Center. This is, again, how you get some help with some writing, different things. None of this is mandatory. Everything I'm showing you right now is just options, things for you to use as you see fit. So anything you need writing wise, setting up your essay, grammar, punctuation. I'm not even gonna lie, I am the worst when it comes to writing. So I'm there, I should probably be in there myself. Club Hub, believe that is something for let's click on it. I think it's once a month, like you meet and you talk about food or something. Yeah, history, culture. Really cool. Again, just optional way to meet classmates, way to learn more. I mean, you're here to engulf in this experience of culinary school, so take as much as you can out of it. Live session backgrounds, like this fancy background you see I have. You can download those here and basically just put them on your Zoom call, and so people don't see, like, you have no idea I'm in my basement right now because I'm in a bakery. So those are really cool. We encourage you to use those because I know, like, I don't want to have to clean the room I'm in to jump on a call with you guys. So I'm sure you feel the same way. Or maybe you're embarrassed, or you don't want somebody to see how dirty your kitchen is, or, don't worry. That is why they're there, basically for that reason alone. And if you can't figure out how to use them, we don't care how dirty your house or kitchen is. Moving on, shopping list. That is basically everything you need to buy, your dress code. I guess something to note for these workshops, love if you're in your chef coat, not mandatory. I understand, being here is better than not. So I'm not too picky. I know some of your chef instructors, or the majority, are. So definitely be aware of your dress code, your weekly rubrics, getting a computer. That's usually done through, oops, I clicked the button. That is usually done through your success coach, financial aid, kind of help work with students to get them a Chromebook. If you need one, please reach out to somebody. Success coach is a good option, or your chef instructor can point you there too. Anyway, so kind of getting into the fun stuff. Instructor announcements. This is where, go figure, instructor announcements will be. As your class gets going more forward, this will be more full. You'll have more class announcements, things here. You'll want to read those. The walk-in is more or less just some information, how to do different things. So how to submit through your mobile device, different videos, again, at your disposal to watch whenever you want to. Kind of going forward, again, this is Chef Scott's image here of the Kirtzvice, but everyone has the basic same gist of stuff, regardless of which one you're in. Your first section of your class is your learn. So your learn section will show your lesson, whether that be slideshows or maybe a Google Doc, maybe something on Canva, depending on your chef. Your research materials, always click on that. This tells you exactly what to do for each assignment. You're supposed to watch, you're supposed to read here in chapter 7, chapter 2. And this basically shows you exactly what you need to do for that assignment that week. If you've noticed, once I clicked in here, this thing over on the left side, this bar, kind of shows you where we're at. So you can click over to different things, different course overview, to get back to that main page as well. So that's just another tool, another way to do it. Jumping back to that week 1 research slide deck, I'm assuming means his PowerPoint slides. So every chef calls them something else, but again, they will be up there for you. Live sessions, here's the links to join, archive links, study halls, things like that. So those are always, if you cannot attend live session, make sure you watch the archive. Cannot stress that enough. Graded assignments, discussions. This is where you will find what you need to do, what you need to turn in with the information you learned in your learn in live sessions. So your week 1 knowledge check. Whenever you see knowledge check or conversion knowledge check, that is a test. That is a quiz. It can mean anything from multiple choice to maybe you have to type in an answer. But you do get multiple tries depending on the course you're in. Use them, definitely. There's literally, unless you're getting 100%, there's no reason not to use all of your attempts because they give you numerous attempts. One thing I just want to point out, take your time, read the questions. A lot of the questions, it's easy to go fast and get kind of thrown off there. So just take your time, fully read the question, understand the question before you answer it. I promise you that simple step alone will save you numerous wrong answers throughout this entire program. So I cannot encourage that enough. Also, something to note, if you look over to the far right, you see this gray little check mark box. That means I haven't done it yet. When this is checked green, that means you've done it. So if you think you submitted your assignment, but you don't see any little green check mark here, you haven't. And also, it is a good way to learn how to know what you're supposed to do. So if you notice, like where it says weekly lab rubric, there's no check mark because there's nothing to do there. There's nothing to turn in there. Should you click on it? By far, yes, definitely. This brings up your entire rubric, everything you need to do for each individual section. So if you submit something and you're like, yeah.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to input as well the knowledge checks. They're pretty much easy hundreds. You can keep going until you get 100. So as long as you keep submitting it, you can get 100.
For sure. That is a great point. Yeah, don't let it discourage you if you don't. Try again, kind of go back, maybe learn from your test. And no, I just checked the chat, Rhonda. There is not a time limit on the test. It does, as far as I know, they might have changed it. It does keep track of your time. So your chef will know if you spent 4 hours or 20 minutes. They will know. I don't think you get graded depending on the time, but it is there. So just note that. And then see all these check marks here too. I just want to point that out. These all mean I haven't watched them yet. So anytime you go back and you watch these or you attend, you'll see that green check mark if you haven't clicked in this. So again, always just be looking for those checks. If you don't see that they're checked and there's a check there, probably means you should click into it and see what's going on. Jumping in though, that weekly rubric that I just showed you, this is literally where it'll show you what you did wrong or what you did right for that matter. So if you lose maybe 5 points on your narrative or your sanitation or your mise en place, you can go back instead of just being like, well, why'd I get marked down? Because that's everyone's first response, is you can go into this rubric and you can see exactly why. Maybe you were here instead of here. So again, just going from this rubric will really, really, really help you. If you click in here, that'll bring you to the recipes. If you have not gotten to the recipes yet, that is where you find those. But clicking into this one, this is the bread and the butter. This is where you go to find everything you need for your assignment. This is like literally imagine reading a recipe for something like, let's say you're making cookies and you read a recipe and you think, oh, there's flour and butter. Shh, I don't need that in my cookies. That is seriously the same thing as looking at this and leaving out one of these pictures. This all needs to be done. Each one in here is something you need to do, something you need to take a picture of. If you're only doing half of these, expect to only get half the points. But this, again, think of it like a recipe. You're not going to finish your recipe without all the ingredients in place. So everything you're doing here is making sure you have all these pictures for what you're making. This is going to show you all of that. Jumping on down to the narrative, and I will open this up. I'm going to have to make a copy again because I've made too many copies of this. I wish I need to clean my Google Drive up. That's a different battle in myself. But yeah, essentially it'll bring you to this. You click make a copy. One thing to note, you want to make sure you're in the right Gmail account. If you're not, it's not going to let you make a copy. Again, this is the culinary side. I will jump in and show you the pastry one if I have time, but essentially it's the same concept, same place. It just said pastry production notes, and it's a Google Sheet, not a Google Doc. But this is your narrative. This is what you're filling out every week for all your assignments, for everything you make. Something to note here, fill it out completely. Like if it says, what, if any struggles did you have this week in preparing your assignment? If you had no struggles, literally type that in. No, I had no struggles this week. I'm perfect. I mean, you could say that, you don't have to, but do not leave it blank is my point. If you leave this blank because you're like, no, that's good, your chef is going to mark you down because you literally didn't answer the question. So make sure you answer everything in its entirety, regardless of what the question is, regardless what your response is. Flavor wheel, I know I'm going to say your name wrong, but we had that question. Flavor wheel, this is what Mekyel close was talking about. If you click on this link right here, that's how you get to the flavor wheel. You do not have to use the flavor wheel. I will point that out. This is just something to give you ideas. If you have never described your food before, never described what you were tasting, or more in depth, I should say, other than that's good, because that's not a description. This is just here for you to use. So if you eat something and you're like, wow, that seemed really sweet. Okay, sweet. Was it like a sharp sweet? Was it a mellow sweet? Was it mild, delicate, zestful? These are just words to help you describe what you're tasting. You do not have to use this. You do not have to only use this. So if you think of other words, other acronyms, other things that make sense to you to describe your taste, texture, consistency, aroma, that is not on the flavor wheel, you can definitely do that. I encourage you to do so. But yeah, this is how you fill this out. Fill out the whole thing. Jumping back over, this is again where you submit your assignment. So this is where I need to jump over here. I apologize to everyone. I'm going to jump into my demo page because it looks a little different. I wanted you to see your full class. But anyway, going back into your assignment, going back into where we were just at, you will see this is your rubric, view all submissions, grades. When it is graded, it will be right here. And you'll see all your feedback there. At the very bottom of this is where you add your submission. So you'll see add submission. You click on it, or you can click edit submission if you've already done something and you're going to resubmit. And again, it brings you back to this homepage. You have to scroll all the way down. I don't know why, but you do. This open text box right here, you see how I just clicked on it? This is an open text box. This, the only thing you are submitting in this. Give me 2 seconds and I'll open it up. I just want to kind of nail the point on the head with this because this is the bulk of really a lot of you need to know right now. In this open text area here, this is where you submit the link to your Google Drive. That is the only thing you are submitting in here is that link to your Google Drive folder for your week that you are sending your chef. You are not putting pictures in here. You are not putting the narrative in here. You are only sending them the Google Drive folder link. That Google Drive folder link will have all of your pictures, all your narratives, all your production notes in it. And so once you basically paste this, I do want to point this out because I know a lot of you are on a Google Chromebook. So if you're not on a Google Chrome, you have the right click feature and you can click paste. If you're on a Google Chromebook, I have no idea why they did not give you a right click button, but they didn't. So just a simple trick, you can hit the control on your keyboard and the letter V, like V as in Victor, will paste as well. Some of those things you can literally Google if you are struggling or if you forget. How do I paste on a Chromebook? How do I copy on my keyboard? How do I print on my keyboard? Those type of questions you can for sure Google if you forget what I just said. But that's where you basically submit it. You would click Save Changes and your assignment is submitted. I don't know what I had pasted. Oh, we're going to delete that. I knew that wouldn't be out well. But anyway, that's basically where you go to submit your assignment. As soon as you submit your assignment, you will see a notification that you submitted your assignment. To find that grade, like I showed you previously, you can click your name, grades. You can click into that assignment itself, and you will see where it has been graded, where it'll say like submitted for grading, graded, feedback, all that will be right here. Another thing, if you go over on this far left side and hit grades, again, another place to find your grades. Jumping back over here though, and I'm gonna go over here. I do want to show you real fast just for some of the pastry people here, and then I will 100% open it up for some questions because I know there's probably quite a few of them, which is totally fine. So PA, so pastry side, I just want to show you same idea, same concept. Your start here, all that, your week 1, drop down, jumping in, you have your lesson, your live materials, your knowledge check, your fruit and your kitchen knife skills. That's your first week's assignment, is cutting up some of those fruits. So again, this is everything you need to do. Narrative and production sheet, same thing, same concept. See, I have 2 Gmails. Mine always goes to the other one, no matter how hard I try. It doesn't like my Escoffier Gmail, so I always have to switch it. This is the pastry side, production notes. Again, make sure you fill it out in its entirety because you will definitely get marked down if you don't. Same idea if you scroll down. This is your flavor wheel down here that I was showing. The culinary side, it's the exact same flavor wheel, but your sheet just looks a little tad different. So I did just want to point that out to everyone. And jumping back into the class page, again, you can click over here That'll bring you over to your chef where you can message them. Definitely. So I'm going to stop here. And I know we have some questions. So let's just go kind of, yeah, some hands are raised. Abby, you have a question?
Oh, yes. Hi.
Hi.
I have a problem with, submitting the narrative sheet. When I click on it, it doesn't come out. I don't know how to do it exactly, but it doesn't come out. And then I will always find it in the trash. Yeah.
In your Google
Yeah.
Drive?
But they're not in the Google Drive, but it will be in the trash. Yeah, Google Drive in the trash.
Okay.
So
You can go, you can
go
go into it and you can move it. That is definitely more on the Google Drive side with Chef Andy. But you can move that document out of the trash. You would just, again, I'm sorry. You can move it out of there. The fact you got it into your trash in your Google Drive means you can download it, which is great. You'll just have to go into it and move it to the right place. And I don't want to answer too many Google Drive questions because that's what Chef Andy was showing it today on her workshops. And so those workshops, I mean, they're an hour long each, and they show you how to set up your Google Drive and how to move things, rename things, organize it, which is a whole nother hour. So, but yeah, you can move it out of your trash to answer your question.
I'll try again.
Okay.
And also my last question is about the knowledge check. It says that you have until June to submit it. And I don't know if you really have to submit it as soon as you're done with it, or just wait until whatever time is on the,
You'll want to do the knowledge checks each week. So each week you have knowledge checks, and you'll want to do them with each week because it's about what you're doing that week. Your class ends in June, so technically everything will close in June, but you're not going to be learning the stuff you're learning this week 8 weeks from now. You're going to be completely somewhere else. So you'll want to try to do them as you're learning the material, by far. Yeah.
And then just submit it.
Yeah, well, it doesn't get graded unless you submit it. So yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you.
For sure.
Thank you.
Christian, I feel like I should know how to say your name, but I'm struggle busing it on a Monday. Christian, do you have a question? Your hand's raised, or was that from before? How about Marianne? Your hand's raised. Do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. Can you hear me? Okay, good.
Yeah.
My question is, when you were showing that the knowledge quizzes or knowledge tests were open book, and just being able to toggle from the test to the knowledge quiz, it's a little bit different on a phone. I don't have a Chromebook either. I'm using my phone.
Gotcha.
So how do you take the test open book on a phone?
You know what I would do? So I would have the test on your dashboard open on your Escoffier app if I was doing this myself on a phone. So have it open, have your test open on your phone, and then more than likely, most phones nowadays, you can have numerous things open. Now you can't go into the dashboard different pages, right? Which is probably what you're asking. So I would open up, depending on if you're on an Android or an Apple, like your Safari or like Google, or just your web browser on your phone. And you can type in my.escoffier.edu like you would on a laptop or a Chromebook, and go to the dashboard from the browser versus the app. You can do both. And so I would do that and have like one of them have your textbook open and then the other one having your test open. Definitely. Because again, those are just resources at your disposal. So you might as well use them.
Okay.
Did that help or answer your
It
question?
did help. It did help. I kind of
Okay.
like understood most of what you were saying, but is there any way that you can demonstrate?
I will be next week. Next week's everything will be from your phone. Yeah, you'll get to see my cute dog on my background.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Jasmine, do you have a question?
Yes, hi. I'm trying to see, I missed the first beginning half of the class. How
Okay.
do I rewatch it? Because I know that you
Yeah.
guys normally put like a link, but I never get those links.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I'm going to share my screen with you because I'm sure you're not the only one who joined us a little late. And I'm glad you're here. So really, and again, yes, to answer your question, we do record all these workshops. So everything you missed, if you joined late or if you have to leave early, we always record them, whether it's this workshop, the one in a few weeks. Like I was saying, Chef Andy did the Google Drive assignment submission ones earlier today. Those are all accessible. So if you go to your main class page, regardless of which class you're in, and you go to your Start Here section, you will find online tutoring. That brings you to me, to the tutoring team. I say me, there's more than just me. There's actually quite a few of us now. We're growing because you guys are, because the school is growing, which is awesome. But this is our tutoring page. If you click this blue link, this book's a one-on-one session with us. It's always in your time zone. And it's just great. Anything you need extra help with, whether it's setting up your Google Drive, whether it's just your basic math and fractions and rounding, essays, writing, grammar, anything like that, we can help you with. I did not point this out at the beginning, so I will now. We cannot answer chef-specific questions. So if you're making something and you're like, hey, chef, can I use this flour instead of this flour? As much as I want to answer you, and I probably can, I'm not supposed to. They want those questions directed towards your chef because your chef will want to know if you're going to use, oranges instead of bananas, or if you're going to substitute lemon for lime, or if you have an allergy to this, or if you're not going to be eating this because you're gluten-free and you're going to have somebody else taste it. All those chef specific things, you will want to be in contact with your specific chef because yeah, the better communication you have with them, with us, the better it is. But they're the ones who will answer like, yes, you can do that. No, you can't. Do this instead, use this instead type of thing. But I did not say that earlier. So I wanted to point that out. Weekly workshops, this is where we're at. We're in new student success. This calendar is not complete. It will be updated hopefully in the next couple days and have more on here. We do have some on Sunday that are not listed, some on Thursdays that are not listed as well. So those are coming. These are all the links to join those Zoom calls. So this is the one I was talking about with the Google Drive with Andy, Chef Andy. Again, these are just all great Zoom links, great knowledge. And this is again where you find those archives. So underneath workshop archives, and actually I'm curious because I haven't looked if she uploaded them. She did. Awesome. So this is culinary side, setting up your Google Drive week 1. This was literally done today. If you missed it, you can go back and click on this YouTube video and it's literally just the entire recording. So we upload these each week as the term goes on for each workshop. So if let's say you need the mobile edition of what we did today, but you're working next Monday night, I will be uploading it in here. You can go back and watch it. Math, reading, writing, all these things are here for you guys. Extra Quizlets. These are flashcards, and this is a read to text or natural reader, something that reads it to you. I hope that answered your question, but I did want to show you that again because I definitely showed that at the beginning. So that's a great question.
Yes, thank you.
For sure. Marianne, do you have another question? Raise your hand.
Just one more.
Okay.
I know that earlier you showed us the syllabus.
Yeah.
And I kind of like forgot how to get there, but that tells us all the classes that we have this semester. I mean, is this the only class that we have?
Yeah.
You keep mentioning math and reading and other things like that, but are we going to be required to take those types of classes for our certificate?
Yes. Not right now, so don't get too worried about it. The syllabus is just And I guess I'll share my screen real fast so you can see where it was. The syllabus is actually in the Start Here section. So right at the beginning, and that's regardless of which class you're enrolled in. In your Start Here section, you'll find your textbook, your syllabus, your tutoring, just resources to you, shopping list, things like that. The syllabus, though, is only for your class. So it's only the class you're enrolled in right now. As you go forward in the program right now, I think probably, I can't even say everyone who's here. A lot of you are only in one class right now. A lot of the time you will only be in one class. Some of the time you will be in two. So depending on which diploma, whether you're going for the associates or the certificate, culinary pastry, kind of depends on which ones you'll be doing. But even if you are doing just the most, the shortest certificate, culinary, you will have some math, you will have some writing, you'll have to write a paragraph here and there, you'll have to write a paper here and there, depending on your class. Not so much your first one. I think everyone has to do costing and purchasing, which is really my favorite. It's not everyone's favorite. And there's conversions too. So depending on what you're doing and what you're looking at, there are conversions. Conversions are like kitchen conversions, like 16 ounces equals 1 pound. So that type of stuff you'll be doing, fractions, decimals, rounding, all that stuff, which I know some of you, maybe not all of you, are coming back to school, and it might have been 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years since you've been in school. And that's totally great. That's the whole point of online learning is.
What if you decide to change your major or your certificate or diploma? What if you decide to change that? Does your syllabus change?
Your track would change, yeah, because depending on which program you're in, depends on which class you take next. But a lot of them, like regardless if you're doing the certificate or diploma for culinary, you're going to take CU 101. You just will. So, and there's some people who do the certificate, and after they're done with the certificate, then they want to do the associates. And that is definitely an option, and you don't have to retake some of the classes. They kind of go for both. So definitely. But Jasmine, do you have a question?
So is it mandatory to join the study hall classes on Thursday? Because I live in the West Coast and I work graveyard and I'm never up at 5 in the morning. If anything, I fall asleep at like 5.
I think it's 5 p.m., but it's
probably 8 a.m. For study hall on Thursdays, it's at 7 a.m. Central Time.
Oh, I'm going to answer your question without really knowing the answer. I don't believe they're mandatory. As far as I'm aware, they're not. Are they great tools at your disposal? Yes, but I don't believe they're mandatory. I could be wrong on that. They're always changing things, but I will double check.
I was on a live session on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, I didn't go on Thursday, and I had gotten a message on the app saying that I was supposed to be on Thursday, but I was dead asleep.
I will find out for sure. I want to say the study halls, they encourage you to attend, and if you can't attend it, just watch the archives, because there's going to definitely be some information in there that you'll find useful. So that is good info to have. I will check on that though, because as far as I was aware, they were not mandatory, but like I said, Escoffier is always changing things on me. So as soon as I'm confident in that answer, I'm going to be wrong. But I will definitely find out, and I will put that, maybe I will let you know, or if other people are curious too, maybe I'll put that in the email for next week's class, so you guys can all know that answer without having to show up again. Definitely. Let's see, Zoom user. I don't know your name. It says Zoom user, but your hand is raised.
Hello.
Hi, what's up?
Hi. I'm trying to pull up the other live lessons and I'm on the laptop, but I can't seem to get it. It keeps saying that it won't let me. Like, how do I go to the other live lessons?
So it won't be the live session, it'll be the archive session. So
Mhm.
looking at it, if you jump in to like your week 1, you won't click the live session at the time. You'll click live session archive.
Okay, I see this right underneath it.
Yeah, and this is basically the recording of your class. The only downside to
Okay.
watching the recording versus attending is you can't ask questions, you can't participate, which
Mhm.
is the whole point and fun of culinary too. So if you can make it,
Okay.
definitely make it. But if you can't, definitely watch them later on.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Rebecca, you had a question?
I did, thank you. You know, I just realized that you have to take a certain amount of pictures when you're looking at the syllabus of the list of what you have to do. Um, I don't know, I didn't see it. I'm like, can you show me where am I looking at?
Yeah, definitely. That is
Thank you.
yeah, no, that is a great thing to ask, because yeah, that is like the bulk of the info. So if you go to your class page, regardless of which one you're in, and you go to your week and you go to your, well, maybe if it loads, week 1, in your actual class itself, in the actual assignment right here, it'll say week 1, whatever you're doing, and then it gives you your rubrics and your recipes. This will tell, this is where you go to submit your assignment. And this is also where it'll tell you to create this assignment, you will need all of these photos that need to be taken at specific points of production added to your week 1 Google Drive folder. And this walks you through each specific picture you need for each thing. So whether that be your carrot vici or your carrot puree, these all need to be done, uploaded in there. I'm sure somebody's asking this question right now. A few of these you can definitely use for the same thing. Like your self-identification photo, if you're doing it the same day, same time, you don't need 2 different photos of the exact same thing. It's the same thing. But you'll definitely want to make sure you check all these marks off, even if it means it's the same photo for both. And as you kind of dive more into the program, getting more in depth with what you're making, a lot of these you won't be able to use for the same thing really, except for that sanitizing bucket and strip and your self-ID photo. The rest of it will probably end up being a lot different stuff, but that's where you find it.
Thank you so much.
Definitely. Lashonda, you have a question?
Yes, I was trying to answer Jasmine's question about the study hall. No, it's not mandatory. This is mandatory. The lab is mandatory. The study is really not mandatory because it's just to help us out. But this is more mandatory, but everything is still recorded. Everything is recorded. Everything you do is recorded. So you can always go back. As long as you have your assignment on time, it's more important to try to do it in advance so you won't be rushing and cramming everything. And it won't all fit into 2 weeks and 3 weeks and you won't be behind. But no,
that is exactly right.
It's very not mandatory. It's not.
Thank you. Thank you for that answer and clarifying, because that's what I thought too. But glad to have a second person. And LaShonda's completely right. Try not to procrastinate. I'm going to dive more into this in our week 3, week 4 workshop and just study tips, but I do want to point it out right now. Try to have your assignment done, your knowledge checks done, everything submitted by Sunday night. If you can do that, it gives you Monday and Tuesday, 1, if you messed up, so you can go back and make sure you did it right. And 2, if you did do it right, it gives you maybe a day off, or you can start reading the material for week 2 or the next week to get ahead, so that when you attend your live session, when you start the next week on Wednesday, you already know what you're doing. You already know what you're learning. And even if you don't know what it is, you'll be familiar with the ideas and you'll have a head start versus getting behind. Procrastinating is never fun. And then you have, like LaShonda literally was just saying, 2-3 weeks to do in 1 week. And then it's this like terrible snowball effect, if you will. And it gets out of control quickly. And then you're on week 4 and you're like, what just happened? How is all this due right now? And I feel like we've all been there, but the more you can be aware of that and just conscious of yourself and your time management, the better. We are so running short on time, but I definitely want to answer everyone's questions still. So quickly, LaPria, did you have a quick question?
I have a question.
Sure. Let me jump to everyone with their hands raised first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now, Shay?
Yeah. Yep. What was your question?
Yeah, my question simply is, I can't see my live sessions on my Chromebook. And when I went to my phone, when I found out I couldn't see it on my Chromebook, after installing Zoom and Vidyard, I went back to my phone where I was going to see my live sessions and orientation, and I had no access. And I did email Chef Quinn and let him know that I sent a screenshot of what the error message was giving me. It was just saying unable to attend at this time. And so
Okay.
now it looks like, I don't know if that's going to affect my attendance, but I did look at the archives for week 1.
Okay. Nope, you're good. As long as you watch the archives, you'll be okay. And if you need help further, or you can't get into it, just let your chef or someone know, and we can get tech support to contact you and kind of get you figured out with the Zoom stuff. Definitely.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Melody, Melody, you had a quick question?
No, it was already answered. I was asking the same thing. If we had to take double pictures of the.
Gotcha.
That's it. And are we allowed to go ahead?
You are, but you don't have access to everything. So you can't take your knowledge checks aren't open, and I don't believe the assignments themselves are open, but you can start reading the material and
Yeah,
learning.
because as I was reading, like some things were getting checked by them, but other things weren't.
Right. So you
the
do
things
have
with the
some.
checks- Mackenzie, I'm sorry, the baby's in the tub.
Yeah.
So the things with the checks are things that have been done.
The green check. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. So I already did it. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. LaSalle, you had a quick question?
No, I needed to verify. I needed to say something with what LaShonda was going with. Guys, please don't turn your stuff in late procrastinating. There is a point deduction. So
Yes.
remember that.
Yes, that's a great reminder for sure. Yeah, just good to not procrastinate. If you do, better late than never, but it's good to not if you can help it, for sure. That's a great point. Chef Reese, did you have a quick question?
I have a question.
Yeah, we'll go to you, Phyllis. What's up?
Okay. It kind of piggybacks off of what that other girl was saying. In my course materials where it talks about the pictures that you have to submit, we had to do the slicing and stuff. And it says, take a picture of your, okay, my situation is, my father had open heart surgery.